Well, well, well. Welcome, everyone, to Real Fellas Talk Sports. You're right. It's Wednesday night. It's 7 o'clock. I'm with a couple of the fellas, and we gave the night off to a couple. So I hope they're enjoying themselves having the night off. They worked it out in their contracts prior to signing. So as a result, Mr. Charles Snowden will be our guest. The third will be our guest tonight. And Charles, I appreciate you joining us.
I'm just happy to get called back, man. You know, I've filled in a couple of times, but this is the first time I've had 2 callbacks in one time being home. So hopefully it means I'm trending in the right direction.
Okay. Well, look, before we go any further, let me introduce the other fella who could make it this evening from Indianapolis, Indiana, Mr. David Burnett. Mr. Burnett, good evening, sir. How you doing? And how's everything in Indianapolis?
It's topsy-turvy here in Indianapolis. The weather, 88 degrees on Sunday. Turning on Monday, it was 30-some degrees. So we've had big swings, and it's been I don't know, hard to accept, but this is Indiana.
The Washington, D.C. area has been the same way, David. It's been an interesting weather pattern all this year. So hopefully the worst is behind us. We'll see.
We will see. We will see. Yeah. Let's look forward to the show.
All right. Well, listen, before we get into hoops, and more hoops, I wanted to take a second and, again, welcome Charles back to the show. I'll start off with a couple questions to you, Charles. Let me ask you this. Since the football season has ended, what you been up to?
Just been, enjoying my time home, working out, relaxed a little bit, and then got back to work, parenting, all that good stuff. Just got back from San Diego last week. The NFLPA, our players union, we had our yearly meetings, and so spent 4 days out there and just got back home.
Well, let me set that up properly. So, Charles, every team in the National Football League has 4 union reps, and Charles was elected as one of the union reps for the Las Vegas Raiders. Congratulations, good for you. And they had their national annual conference last week out in San Diego, which he attended, his first one. And they elected the new executive director of the Players Association, which, by the way, it's headquartered right here in Washington, D.C. So, Charles, how was that experience in general? I mean, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was no joke. I did not realize the amount of work that the union does on a day-to-day basis, honestly. And the player union reps, I mean, it's an unpaid job. But we were there in those meetings from 7:30 a.m. till 6:30 at night, talking through different decisions, getting informed, updating us on the state of the union, all that good stuff. And then we had some pretty big decisions to make there at the end. So talking through that, hearing different guys' opinions, just understanding the implications that whatever decision we make will affect everyone who's ever played in the NFL, everyone who's playing in the NFL right now, and everyone who ever will play in the NFL. So
let me ask you real quick, Charles. One issue that's come up is the tush push. Did you all talk about that? Is it going to happen again? Is it a permanent part of the NFL?
So that type of stuff, like the rules, that's more for the owners and the referee meeting. Like that, those don't come up in our talks. But so we didn't really talk about the tush push much, but we did talk about like the new kickoff rule, for example, and the format of that. It was kind of brought in to decrease injuries and head injuries, but this past season, the studies showed that it did not reduce them. So now we're trying to talk through updating us on those studies and how we can tweak it as players, as a league, and how we can be better going forward.
Well, I know you guys elected because you had an interim executive director in place prior to your election. Who was elected, and have you got any early reaction from the union, your members, about your new president?
Yeah, we did just elect. Our current interim. His name is David White. He's been serving for the last 6-ish months, and I mean he's been absolutely phenomenal. We as a union can't thank him enough. He came in while the union was in a pretty bad place, and he really came in, righted the ship. Um, Guys liked him a lot. I like him a lot, and everyone who worked with him personally spoke really highly of him. But we elected a new executive director going forward, whose name is JC Treader, and JC, an 11-year NFL vet. He was the NFLPA players president for 4 years. When he was a player, he went to Cornell and worked and majored in labor relations. So he's a union man through and through. When he was done playing, he worked for the union. And so, there was a bit of controversy in the way he left the union initially. But I mean, he came into that room of us. It was about 100 guys. He came into that room, stood on that stage, shared his story, cleared the air, told the truth. He was confident. He was honest. He was transparent, and really wowed a lot of the guys. And, we voted on it, and he's our guy going forward.
Well, that's great news. That is very, very good news. I know that, people joke all the time, folks like myself, novices who say NFL stands for not for long. So I know the union is always talking about the ex-players with the injuries and healthcare and that whole thing. And I know you guys are trying to battle and get the best deal for the players post playing and taking on the ownership and trying to do the best you can do. So congratulations on selecting your executive director, and congratulations on your first trip out there, and good luck in trying to look out for the union members. I think that's pretty cool.
Thank you. We'll take all the luck we can get.
All right. Hey, David, do you have anything else you want to ask of Charles before we get into hoops, and more hoops?
I think he should just keep on keeping on as a union leader. He sounds good. He's gotten all of the points down, and I like his style. Keep it up, Charles.
Hey, listen, before we get into the thing, one last thing. So the Raiders have been in the news a lot lately because you guys have a new coach, I guess, with Las Vegas, and you have the number 1 pick in the draft. The Raiders do. David, living in Indianapolis, your dad, who's an IU graduate, we're hoping that Fernando will be your number 1 pick. So, and I guess you've got a new defensive coordinator and so forth. So any initial reaction to anything that I just said there, either about the new coach or your new DC or what the Raiders might do with the quarterback in terms of the first pick and so forth? Any general?
Yeah, I mean, they seem pretty set on Mendoza with the first pick. I mean, leading a team, Heisman Trophy winning quarterback to a national championship. I mean, it's hard to get a better resume than that. And right. So obviously we're excited for that. Head in the right direction, get a guy for the future. And yeah, defensively, we got a new defensive coordinator who's my old D-line coach. And he is, I really owe Robbie Leonard. I really owe him a lot because he really kind of gave me my first shot when I got to Vegas. I'd bounced around the league a little bit, and Robbie took me in, and like from day one, let me not say day one, probably like day 3, he cared about my development the same level he cared about Max Crosby's development. Like he told me, look, if you put it in, I'll put it in with you. Like that's, what you put in is what you're going to get out. And he not only walked the walk, but he only talked the talk, but he walked the walk as well. And I am forever grateful for him giving me my shot and helping me develop to this day. And he is a very bright football mind who wears his heart on his sleeve. He loves his players since I've been there. dudes have always come in and said, like, you guys have the best position coach in the building. So I'm very excited for him to get his shot as defensive coordinator. It's a long time coming, very well deserved, very well earned, and I'm excited.
So I saw you guys are switching to a 3-4 from a 4-3 in terms of the new season. How do you feel about that personally? I mean, there's obviously you're going to have to go and camp and work and compete and the whole thing. Do you like the 3-4 better than the 4-3 or?
Yeah, personally, I definitely prefer like a 3-4 over a 4-3. I think I'm definitely more of a 3-4 outside linebacker more than anything. But you know, in the NFL, like base defenses with 3-4, 4-3, they are called maybe 25-30% of the game. So majority of the snaps come in nickel anyway, which is just your standard 4-2-5. But definitely having a base 3-4, I'm excited for to see what that looks like. And that's kind of what I as I grew up playing football, grew up meaning college is what I did. So I'm yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, it's good. Good. Well, thanks for the update. Thanks for joining us. Let's get into some hoops. I think there's a college basketball tournament going on at this time. And what a weekend we had, man. That NCAA tournament I thought was pretty fantastic. There were some great games. Hey, how you doing, Lauren? What's going on? Thanks for joining us. Oh,
And thank you for the birthday shout out.
yeah, Charles's birthday is Friday. So, yeah, thank you for the birthday shout out. That's pretty cool stuff.
Happy birthday, Charles.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, so this NCAA tournament has been absolutely outstanding. I know 3 of the number 1 seeds are still around. Florida got knocked off in a heck of a game by Nebraska, a Big Ten team. Shout out to the not Nebraska, Iowa, a Big Ten team. So shout out to that. So David, just initially, what have you thought of the tournament so far?
It's been competitive. It's been a good tournament, but one thing that really kind of bothers me, and you and I talked about this before the show got on, the empty seats that I'm seeing. Maybe I'm just now noticing them. Maybe the camera doesn't always pan and showcase the empty seats, but at a lot of the arenas, there were empty seats that bothered me. And the basketball has gotten better. The play has gotten better, but and I don't know how much it has to do with the TSA problems at the airport and maybe people not being able to attend like in a timely manner, but it shouldn't be that way. It should be better. It should be better.
Right. Yeah, I've noticed some of those empty seats too. I'm wondering again if maybe the early games, if it's a smaller school, the school didn't travel to that location. I don't know. I did notice that too, but I also saw stadiums that were, filled to the brim. So that's an interesting observation. I don't know why that is. Did you notice that at all, Charles?
I didn't think it was any more empty than it normally is for the first round. Like the Sweet 16, the Elite 8, the Final Four. When you think of the tournament, what really comes to mind, those are always packed. But the first round, it's usually kind of up and down.
Right. All right. So listen, Kansas lost to St. John's, heck of a game. We mentioned just a second ago how Iowa knocked off Florida. That's a number 9 beating a number 1. We saw Nebraska have a heck of a game. We saw, what other upset? We saw High Point take, Arkansas to the end. We saw Siena give Duke all they could handle. Charles, any specific game catch your attention specifically? Anything?
Yeah, for me, my favorite game thus far has definitely been the High Point Wisconsin first round upset, where the dude hit the finger roll with 2 seconds left to give High Point the lead, and it was his first made 2-pointer of the season. I mean, you can't make that up. So I think that game for me, and then the Wisconsin had a chance, and the dude on High Point comes over and blocks it to end the game. I think for me, that was definitely the best game of the tournament so far.
Interesting. How about yourself, David? Any specific game or situation catch your attention that you like to?
I would kind of echo what Charles is saying in terms of High Point. High Point lived up to its name. It's the high point of their probably ever in the history of that program. And you know, it also makes that first week of the tournament always is the best.
Yes.
Empty seats or not, you know, it's just me complaining about empty seats. Who am I?
Right.
But the first week, you know, you never know who's going to be at risk for an upset. Duke was almost upset.
Oh, they
and
really
Duke
were.
was the tournament favorite, and Siena played them right to the end.
100%.
And almost got the win. So
Yeah.
you never know that first week.
Yeah, no, you don't. In fact, the coach of Siena, Jerry McNamara, I think his name is, he is he's accepted the head coaching job at the University of Syracuse. So I guess the University of Syracuse has let its coach go, and Jerry McNamara is going to be, who was an ex.
And he was a star. He was a
He
star at
was.
Syracuse.
He really was. So he's going to get that job. And they only played 5 guys against Duke in that game. And I'm telling you, I think Duke ended up winning by maybe 4 points. I mean, it was a heck of a game. I'll tell you, Vanderbilt, who did Vanderbilt lose to? They lost to
Nebraska, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Nebraska.
And that was a heck of a game, too. Nebraska hit a big shot at the buzzer. Vanderbilt got the ball back with like 2 seconds to go, threw a ball in from half court. And that, I don't know how that ball didn't go in, but it you know, circled the rim and jumped out. And so they won. And so that was a great game. And then
One thing real quick about Nebraska, they've won their first 2 ever tournament games. They had never won a game. Now they won 2. And they started off the season damn good.
They did. They've had a heck of a year. Their coach is an ex NBA player. God, I can't remember his name now off the top. Anyway, they said they were comparing Nebraska this year's basketball to Indiana in football. If Nebraska continues to be successful in this tournament, they're comparing it to the Indiana, what they've done in football. So
that's a fair comparison because
Yes,
Nebraska is
exactly.
nothing in basketball until this year. So it would be kind of sweet to see them get to the Final Four.
yeah, that St. John's Kansas game was also a good one where the guard from St. John's, I know Charles talked about the guy scoring 2 points in the High Point game, was his first of the season. Well, the guy from St. John's, he was 0 for 4 for the game, took the inbounds pass with 4 seconds to go, dribbled all the way to the bucket, scored a layup, which was his first points of the game, and he's left-handed, and he made that bucket with the right hand, and they knocked off Kansas. I'll tell you something. I watched a lot of that game, and St. John's, I mean, they couldn't score at all. But they played so hard and they scrapped and got offensive putbacks. And they pulled that game out over Kansas. 2 great coaches, Self and Pitino.
I just can't get behind St. John's with Pitino. I will never, you know, when he had the prostitutes out in
Louisville.
helping recruit his players, I lost all respect for him. So I thought I would bring that up just to add some balance to this show.
Yeah. Charles and his dad didn't make a visit to that school to see how that went. So, yeah, I can't really comment on that one. All right, so that was this past weekend, right? And by the way, Indiana of the Big Ten, of the 16 teams that are left, 6 of them are from the Big Ten. And there is a possibility, David, you brought this to my attention, there could be 4 teams from the Big Ten in the Final Four. So
wouldn't that be sweet? Shout
out to the Big Ten so far. And speaking of coaches, I mentioned that Jerry Mack would get the Syracuse job. Down in Chapel Hill, they just made a coaching change down there. David, are you surprised?
No, I mean, I like Hubert Davis. He's part of that franchise, that program. He was a great player for North Carolina. He had a good professional career. He went to the final game of the tournament several years ago.
First year.
But you can't be losing game 1 2 years in a row. And especially when you're 8 miles away from Duke University, your number 1 nemesis. And so he was vulnerable.
Yeah.
Should he have been fired? Yes. Unfortunately, yes. I know he lost his best player.
Yes.
The injury, and that's a factor.
Yeah.
But when you're North Carolina, one of the truest of the blue blood programs, you can't be losing.
100%.
You can't
They were up
lose.
19 points in that game, David. 19 points, and they lost. And you're right. Given the previous couple of years, I guess, when you're North Carolina, and Indiana's the same way, right? The fan base expects you to win the national championship, and Kentucky, as unfair as that might be, but they're under a different type of scrutiny. And when you take those jobs, it comes with the territory, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, unfortunately.
Charles, were you surprised by that?
Not necessarily. I think you could tell he felt the pressure, like in his post-game interview when they asked him a question about his rotation. He said, because I thought that was right. Like, you could, once I saw he felt that pressure, that tension, I figured he knew he was on the out. But yeah, like you said, just at those big programs, at those blue bloods, the margin for error is not big at all. And if you're not getting it done, I mean, if he didn't have that Cinderella run in 2022 when they were like an 8 seed, if he didn't have that run, he would have been lost his job. So,
and those are with the previous coaches' players, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So, Charles, do you have any thoughts, any suggestions, have you heard anything about who might replace him?
I have not, but over here in Charlottesville, last year, our coach in-house stepped down, and we took a trip down the road to VCU and plucked their coach, Odom, and he did pretty well for us this year. So,
really well for you guys.
High Point has had a pretty good program right down the street from North Carolina. They might want to give it a look. I'm not saying hire the guy, just give it a look.
That's a big step up from High Point to
huge step up.
Okay.
The national media keeps talking about Billy Donovan stepping away from Chicago Bulls and coming to North Carolina. I mean, I don't know about that. Depends on the money. I mean, he did win 2 national championships back to back at Florida, but he hasn't done a lot at the pro level.
No.
It's possible they could lure him to North Carolina, but he still has to win too. I don't care if he won a couple of national championships or not, or natties as they call them. You got to win. And in North Carolina, you got to win.
The expectations are high at places like that. And something interesting happened over the weekend. Kenny Smith, who was doing the basketball games, the collegiate games with Charles and those guys, they took him off the air or something, or he stepped off the air. His son is going to University of North Carolina next year as a recruit. And people are wondering if Kenny Smith might not be under consideration for that position. I find that a little interesting because he's never coached, but that's another name that I've heard anyway, in terms of.
I would hate to see that happen. Kenny Smith is good at what he does, but he's never coached. And it should, and just because his son is going, that should not be a reason to hire him. He doesn't, he explains the game very well on TNT, well, now ESPN.
Yep.
He does a good job of making the X and O's understandable to lay people like myself. But no, please don't do that, kid.
Right.
Got a great job right now.
Right. He so I've heard names like Dusty May at Michigan. I've heard names like the guy from Florida, what's his name, Golden or something.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to, they're considering outside of the family, which again, it's not a North Carolina thing to do, go outside of the family, but they said they're going to broaden this search and they're looking for the best of the best. And we'll see what happens with North Carolina. I also, and by the way, Kentucky's on the clock, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure.
Next year, they don't get a little further than they've been getting. Mr. Pope,
sure.
the next big name from a big school who could be on the hot seat as well. So,
he was on a championship team in Kentucky.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
They bought
I don't know, but you got to get results at Kentucky because in Kentucky they'll get rid of you.
Well, they chased Calipari out, and Calipari's had a better year than he did at Arkansas. than the guy at Kentucky. So again, the fan bases, they have expectations. As you know, my guy Mike Woodson was coaching Indiana, and all the folks down at IU, they want you to win the national championship. And when you don't, the press, the fans, they kind of turn on you a little bit, and it turns up the heat. I know DeVry, they were loving him for a while, but the new Indiana coach, but I know he's starting to catch a little heat too. So
As he should.
Right. So if he doesn't do better next year or the following year, we'll see what happens down in old Bloomington. All right. So that's last week's games. Now we've got the setup. We got the Sweet 16. In the East, we have Duke versus St. John's. David, Duke, St. John's. Patino versus Shire.
Shire.
Who wins that game?
Duke is got the wings clipped a little bit of players out. As much as I hate Patino, and I shouldn't say I hate him, much as I don't particularly care for his personality.
Right.
I got to say St. John's is going to win the game.
Wow. Okay. So David likes St. John's.
No, I don't like St. John's.
I mean, you like him to win that game. You like him to win that game. Charles, who do you think wins the Duke St. John's game?
I think it'll be a very good game. I think it'll be scrappy. I think it'll be intense. But I think due to the fact that St. John's can't shoot and Duke can shoot, I think down the stretch Duke's going to hit some shots and pull away.
Yeah.
But I am a Patino fan, and yes, he was caught cheating, and yes, it wasn't great. But if you pull the curtain back on all the good teams, I'm sure you'll find some cheating. So I'm not going to hold it against him.
And he wins everywhere he goes.
He wins everywhere, and he does it with he does it his style, his flair. He has his suit on. Team hits a game-winning shot, keeps his composure, goes shakes the other coach's hand. I mean, truly respects the game, legend of the game.
Yeah.
I'm a Patino fan.
He's a Hall of Famer. Okay, how about by the way, I think St. John's going to upset Duke as well. So we'll see what happens. How about Michigan State, UConn? Woo, here we go again. Izzo's in the Sweet 16. UConn, they went back-to-back a couple of years ago, national titles. He's probably not the most liked guy in the world, Hurley at UConn. Yeah. Bless his heart. Who wins that game? Michigan State, UConn. David.
I'm pulling for Michigan State. I'm pulling for Tom Izzo. Hurley has become a jerk. I can't cheer for him. No. I want Michigan State largely because they're Big Ten.
Yeah.
And Izzo at some point he's got a 25-year gap between national championships. At some point he's got to win something.
Right. Yeah. Well, that by the way, those games, Duke, St. John's, and Michigan State and UConn are right here in Washington, D.C. at the Capital One Arena. So we'll have those teams in town this weekend. Charles, who wins that game? Michigan State, UConn.
I think I'm gonna have to go with UConn for the same reason, is that they can just shoot it a little bit better. I think both teams are athletic, physical, get up and down. Michigan State probably a little more so, but I mean, UConn can just shoot it a little bit better than Michigan State. And I mean, when them shots is falling, it's hard to beat a team.
Michigan State, they're going to play tough, and they're going to ugly it up, if you will. And they got a good point guard. They got a couple kids that are from the DMV on that Michigan State team. I'm pulling for Michigan State, so I think they're going to knock off UConn in that game. How about we'll move to the South. How about Iowa and Nebraska? That don't even sound like a basketball game in the Sweet 16.
Crazy.
Iowa and Nebraska. David, who wins that battle of two Big Ten teams?
Nebraska, I think, wins. Nebraska's had the best year they've ever had in basketball. They've never made the tournament. They've won 2 games in the tournament now. 2 more games than they've won in the history of the program. I got to cheer for Nebraska, and I believe they're the better team.
All right, Charles, who wins that game? Nebraska and Iowa.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm right there with David on this one. I mean, you think about the run Nebraska's on, as we've said, first 2 wins in tournament history, and then they win the way they did against Vanderbilt. It was a great team, and now they play one of their arch rivals in Iowa in the tournament, who they're better than. I mean, it almost feels storybook, like they're the team of destiny this year. So I'm rolling with the Cornhuskers.
Cool. One quick comment about that Iowa. Iowa played Florida in the game on Sunday. And again, they were number 9 versus Florida was the number 1. 8 seconds to go. They come out of a timeout. Florida they were up 2. Florida was up 2. They put on a full court press, including putting a man on the ball 94 feet away, right? So Iowa threw the ball in. The guy was moving when he received it. Immediately, the Florida guys are behind, right? Because now Nebraska has numbers. Sure enough, they threw the ball into the corner. The kid knocks down the 3 from the corner. Ball game. What I don't understand is why did Florida put a guy on the ball 94 feet away, up 2 with 8 seconds to go? I thought that was the dumbest defense I've ever seen. I just wanted to make a comment on that real quick.
They should have put the 8-foot tall guy out there.
Well, if they did, they should have put him at half court and played everything in front. But that's maybe too much information. I sound like a guy that had Florida in the final game, don't I? Right. All right. How about the next game in the South? Illinois and Houston. Illinois has quietly had a heck of a year. And of course, I love Houston. So, David, Illinois, Houston, who you going with?
You know, I'm all Big Ten. And I like Houston. Houston's always there. Kelvin Sampson is, who was so mistreated at IU.
Agreed.
Completely mistreated and misrepresented at IU. So ordinarily I would cheer and promote Houston, but I think this is Illinois' year to at least get past into the Elite 8. And so I'm going with Illinois.
Okay. And Charles, who do you like in that game? Houston and Illinois.
I mean, Houston just has a great mix of veteran guard play and freshman talented guard play. And so I think I like Houston, but those Europeans on Illinois can play. And they got a chip on their shoulder. That dude said in an interview a couple weeks, he said, hey, if I don't play, my team's not going to do well. So I have to play. And he goes out there and plays like that. So I'm that game right there. I am very excited for.
Yeah, that will be a brawl, a street fight, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because both of them are very tough-minded. And the freshman point guard you're talking about is Fleming for Houston. He's tough. And remember, Houston was in the final game against Florida and came this close.
They should have won.
So they came this close. So I am pulling for Houston in that game. And so we'll see. Charles, who did you say?
I said I'm going with Houston as well.
Okay, good. All right, well, let's go out west. Arizona, Arkansas. My favorite players in this game. Darius Akoff Jr., the point guard for Arkansas. David, who wins that game? Arizona, Arkansas.
As much as Akoff is doing well and getting ready to make millions in the NBA, he's going to lose to Arizona. Arizona will only beat themselves.
Right.
So Arizona.
Okay. Charles, who do you like in that game?
I picked Arizona as my national champion. I'm going with Arizona.
And I am too. I'm going with them as well, even though I love me some Darius Akoff. Look, the only problem with Arkansas, they can't check anybody. And they're horrible. They're inside defense. And Arizona got some big old guys down in around that basket. So their size and the way they play inside is gonna be too much for Arkansas. All right, how about Texas? And I know what David's going to say. Texas and Purdue is the next game in the West. Who do you like in that one, David?
I like Purdue if Fletcher Loyer hits the 3-pointers. Now, Rick Mount, 78-year-old Rick Mount is not walking through that door. It's not happening. If Purdue hits their shots, if Braden Smith, the point guard, the all-time assist leader in the NCAA, if he plays well, if he hits his shots, if Fletcher Loyer hits his shots, Trey Kaufman-Renn, the poor man's Boozer, if he plays well, Purdue wins. Purdue wants to get to Indianapolis. This is their shot.
Right?
They should beat Texas. Texas was in the play-in game.
Yeah, Texas upset somebody, which is why they're in this position. So you like Purdue. Charles, who do you like in Texas, Purdue?
I'm My father's a Hoosier, man. Give me Texas. Okay, I can never
We
go
can't
Purdue,
do it,
man.
David. We can't do it, David. We just can't do it.
You spent time in this state, Chuck.
That's two for Texas right there.
Okay.
But that will be a good game. All right, let's look at the final one, the Midwest. Let's look at Michigan, Alabama. Wow. There'll be a lot of scoring in that game. Who you like in that one, David?
Michigan. Michigan should win, but if they're not shooting well, they're vulnerable. They're not a great shooting team. They got a lot of size. They got some great players who are going to play well in the NBA, but they got to hit the shots. Got to.
Yeah.
But Michigan should win.
Charles, who do you like in that game?
I watched Michigan against Howard, and Michigan's like a well-oiled machine. I think Alabama did well initially, especially with one of their best players not being available. But I think that's gonna bite them in the butt here, and that I'm gonna go with Michigan.
All right, let's go with Michigan. That's a three. All three of us have picked Michigan over Alabama. Alabama can score. They got that guard Filson or something, a freshman guard. He can score, but I think that Michigan has too much power, too much firepower. So I got with Michigan as well. The last one in the Sweet 16, Tennessee and Iowa State. How about the state of Iowa? They got two teams in the Sweet 16. Tennessee, Iowa State, David.
Iowa State. I don't know a whole lot about them. I just know that I see the name on in the polls every week.
Yep.
They've been playing well all year.
Yeah.
I go with Iowa State.
Charles.
I'm gonna have to agree. I'm definitely gonna have to go Iowa State as well. Tennessee knocked out my Hoos, so. But that aside, Iowa State does have a great team. I haven't watched too much of them, but just as I see the chatter and keep up with clips, Iowa State seems to have a good team. So give me the Cyclones.
Yeah, their head coach always wears those muscle shirts. He's a real physical-looking guy. And by the way, his name comes up for the North Carolina replacement job as well as one of the people that might be under consideration. So apparently he's done a good job at Iowa State. Hey, Michael Vann, thanks for checking in on us, buddy. And you're right, Izzo is a good coach. So we'll see what happens with Michigan State. I'm not a New England fan. I don't know exactly what that meant. All right. Anything else about the NCAA tournament that you've liked so far, or anything additional you want to comment about? Do you feel like I do? It never gets old. I love it. All the brackets, all the pools, all the sheets get filled out, and everybody's into it. So
my bracket has been busted early.
Yeah, this is hands down. I stopped even checking the pools I'm in. Like, my bracket's gone. I'm just enjoying the basketball. But I will say, the era of Cinderellas, it's over. I'm sorry. Like, you can't. They're with the NIL, with the transfer portal, with the way teams are built these days. They're the only double-digit seed in the Sweet 16 this year is Texas, who's in the SEC. High Point had their first round upset, lost the next round. It's just teams you can't maintain a roster good enough to compete here late in March, especially now. Like, initially you could have a team of seniors who've been together for years, and they go up against the freshman 5 stars of Kentucky, and those 22-year-olds might be able to get them. But nowadays, it's over. Siena had a great run. They took Duke to the ropes.
They did.
Half their team is in the portal already. Season just ended. So Siena, if you're a good mid-major team, all the big schools come and take your players, come and take your coach, and you just start from scratch.
Ask Indiana State about that.
They were all in St. Louis. Right.
Yep. So that's just the nature of college sports these days. But I think we've seen the last of our Cinderella.
But even Cinderella, even with Cinderella, did Cinderella ever get to the Final Four? She upsets. She had some upsets that Thursday and that Friday, and even this year, VCU knocked off North Carolina, and like you said, High Point knocked off Wisconsin, and Siena gave Duke all they could handle, and I'm sure I'm missing somebody. Can you be a Cinderella and a low seed in a big conference, and maybe because you knocked off some teams that are better than a higher rank than you? Is that a Cinderella type? I don't know.
I don't know if you can be a Cinderella from a Power Four
Major.
conference,
Okay.
Yeah.
a major team. I don't know that. And even
I
the
would agree
Big
with that.
East is being kind of slighted now. Do they really have big teams other than UConn?
St. John's is, they're in the mix.
Well, but St. John's only the last couple of years
right.
because
Four.
they had a problem.
Right.
Chris Mullen couldn't do anything with them.
Right. The Big East of the 80s is not there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
Those
quite
days
a
are
pull
gone.
there.
Right.
But George Mason made it to the Final Four with Larinaga way back
Some
when.
years ago, you're right.
Butler
Butler
made
Butler
it
was in
back-to-back
the national championship
game.
Yep. VCU, I don't know if they made it to the Final Four, but VCU had teams that made it down to the Elite Eight and the Sweet 16.
VCU was in the Final Four.
Yeah, VCU was in the Final Four, and even a couple years back, like Florida Atlantic, I think, was in the national championship game. So you had those Loyola Chicago teams with Sister Jean, may she
That's
rest
a
in
good
peace,
point.
that
That's a
would
good
make some deep runs. So,
Good point.
and and you would see like the same teams because they played together for years and had good, but there's just no more consistency. There's no more continuity. You can't build. And now in my opinion, I think the era of Cinderella, and as someone whose bracket has been busted early this year, from here on out, when I fill out a bracket, it will be chalk, 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 chalk.
San Diego State, they were in the finals.
San Diego State.
UConn. Right?
Yep.
I think the only hope for the Cinderella is if they have a great shooter that's lights out, and somebody that's not expected necessarily to go to the NBA, but is a good complete player, but is deadly, 50% or more from three.
Multiple.
Like High Point had.
Your team's got to be designed that way. That maybe Miami of Ohio, they were kind of designed that way where everybody shot threes and they won their playing game, but they couldn't pull off the second.
Then they fell back to the mean.
Right, exactly. All right, well, we'll see what happens this weekend. I kind of recorded our picks. We'll review those next week. But I enjoyed the tournament. It's been pretty cool. So let's get into let's just briefly talk about the ladies. I think we're just waiting for UCLA ladies, they're 33-1, versus the UConn ladies, which are undefeated, to get into the finals. I know Texas is good. I know LSU is okay. I know South Carolina is okay. But I think we're all been waiting for for that situation. UConn at halftime, they were beating Syracuse the other day. At halftime now, 67-12. The ladies from UConn are just, I don't know what else to say. David, any thoughts about the ladies so far?
UConn obviously is the favorite.
Yeah.
UCLA, I don't know. But I'm always cheering for Dawn Staley in South Carolina.
Yep.
I don't think you can count them out. She's so scrappy and it connects so well with her players.
Yeah.
They play hard for her. I can't count out South Carolina, but they're not the favorite.
No. In fact, I think Texas might have beat them twice this season.
Yeah,
Texas,
they did. Yes,
I think they're all. They have a lady on that team, Booker. They have a lady on that team that's really a good player, and so Texas is another team you got to keep an eye on, so to speak. But I think we're waiting for this UConn UCLA clash.
Well, UConn, UCLA, Texas, and South Carolina, they were the
number one
top
seeds.
four, the number one seeds. So, and I think South Carolina is number 4 out of that group.
Right.
But don't count them out.
Right. Yeah. So continued success with the ladies. We're keeping an eye on you guys, and that's good to know. And we Washingtonians, we're loving the fact that AZ Flood plays for UConn. She's a local lady, went to St. John's High School, and then UCLA has Kiki Rice. She's their point guard, and she went to Sidwell Friends. So it'll be interesting to see if the two of them meet up in the finals for the local flavor. All right. Anything else about the ladies you guys want to add? If not, we're going to jump into the NBA a little bit.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
All right, let's talk about the NBA. Before we get into this, I'm going to start at the bottom and work our way up. So the MVP vote, there's like 10 or 11 games left. And Connecticut, Boston, Patriots are all in New England. Okay. Thanks, Mike.
He knows his geography.
Oh, thanks, Mike. Appreciate that. Thank you. Wemby was on the other day. Wemby from San Antonio, the big center. And the reporter asked the question. The reporter said, so Wemby, do you think you should be the MVP this year? And Wemby said, I absolutely think I should, which I think is a little, unusual for a 22-year-old professional athlete to just come straight like that. He said, let me give you the 3 reasons why I think I should. First, we done beat OKC 4 out of the 5 times we've played them this year. Wow. He said, secondly, I think defense is undervalued in this league. I'm the best defensive player.
And he is.
I got that under control down at that end. And then finally, on offense, I make other people around me better. I have an array of ways to score. And then, that frees up some of my teammates. And so as a result, I believe right now there's a debate. I think I should be in the debate. But when these next 10 or 11 games are over, he said it shouldn't be a debate. I'll be the best player. What'd you think of that, David?
Wemby has got a lot of confidence. He's got a good command of English.
Yes.
A very good command of English. I wish some of our American players had that good command too. Wemby is certainly in the argument for MVP. I don't know if he'll get it this year because of the way the voting often goes, and I think SGA is in the leader position right now. But Wemby and San Antonio, they can't be overlooked. They can win it all. They can win it all.
I agree with that statement there, my friend. They even play, I think they play like 4 guards and Wemby. I don't even think they have if they have a power forward, I don't know who it is, but I don't disagree with what you just said. What do you think of that, Charles, the boldness and his point?
Yeah, I mean, that is absolutely very bold of him.
Right.
But hey, I mean, I respect it. He didn't lie.
No.
He is, if you ask 5 people their best player in the NBA right now, you might get 5 different answers.
Right.
If you ask 5 people who the best defensive player in the NBA is, you're going to get one answer, and it's Wemby. So I think from that standpoint and the fact that they are playing well, they're overachieving. Thank you very much for the early birthday shout out.
Thank you, Kung Fu.
But yeah, I mean, if he wants to be in the conversation, that's one way of putting yourself in the conversation is saying, hey, I should be in that conversation. And here we are conversing about it. So I like it from Wemby. Hopefully now, they're ahead of schedule. So I think that this now does add a little bit of pressure. But, if they have a first or second round exit, they're ahead of schedule. So I think they'll be okay.
So David, if you had a vote, who would you vote right now today for your league MVP?
Despite what Wemby has said about himself and his confidence, despite SGA definitely being in the leader position, I would vote for Jaylen Brown. I just think without him, the Celtics are not in position to win the NBA championship. With him, he got them in position. Now they got their other superstar back. He's not necessarily 100% healthy, but healthy enough. Boston without Jaylen Brown would not be there. Right. So he's got to get votes. He's got to get votes. He would get my vote if I had a vote.
It's a good point. You made a good case for him. Charles, who would be if you had a vote today, who would be your MVP?
I mean, for me, it'd have to be the Joker.
Wow.
He's unreal. What he does game in, game out. I mean, it's, he's in Denver. It's not the prettiest brand of ball, and he's been really good for really long now. So people kind of brush past it. But I think if I had to vote, I would go with the Joker.
Well, he's averaging triple double. The center,
He's spectacular
he's
He-
averaging
in his own low level way. He's spectacular.
I think Wimby was taking a shot at him actually. When Wimby said defense in this league is undervalued, and I'm clearly, without question, the best defensive player in the league. I think he was taking a little bit of a shot at
Well,
the and Joker.
As much as I like Wimby, and I like him a lot, he better shut up. He got to win something. He's got to win something.
Right.
Stay
Okay.
healthy.
So let me. I got a tough one for y'all now. All right. You shared what you think your MVPs are. Now, first team All NBA. I'm going to give you 6 guys, and you got to leave one of them off. So here are the 6: Wimby, SGA, Luka, Jaylen Brown, Cade Cunningham, and who am I missing?
Joker.
So Joker, SGA, Cade, Jaylen Brown, Wimby. I'm missing one. I'm missing somebody. I'm missing in other words, there's 6 of them, and one of them, and I wanted to see which ones you guys would go in. So it's Wimby, Joker, SGA, Cade,
And
Luka and
Jaylen Brown,
and Luka. That's
and
it.
You got
Luka,
6.
and Luka. Those are the 6. Wimby, Joker, SGA, Cade, Jaylen Brown, and Luka. Which of those does not make first team All NBA? David?
It's an easy one for me. Cade Cunningham is not going to be in the top 5. Sorry.
Wow.
I mean, he's played well, but he may not even get the legislated number of games, 65 games, to even be a legitimate part of the first team. And he's had some sloppy games. I just don't see him as a superstar just yet. He's moving into good player, great player status, but not superstar status. No.
I think Detroit has the second best record in basketball, and as you mentioned with Jaylen Brown or Taylor, if Cade wasn't on that team, I don't know how Detroit would be winning any games.
Well, I mean, that doesn't make him a bad player. He's a very good player. He's just not one of the top 5 players.
Right. That's the one you would leave off. This is a good one. This is a tough question. Charles, which of those 6, which one would you leave off?
For me, it's between Jaylen Brown and Cade. I think that what Cade has done with Detroit has been nothing short of phenomenal. I think that I'd probably give Jaylen Brown a slight edge over Cade, but I mean, it would come down to one of those 2 guys.
Wow. That's going to be a big question, I think, at the end of the season, which, again, you only have 5. If you have 5 slots for first team All NBA and you got these 6 guys, it's going to be interesting to see how that all works out. Okay. We got that out of the way. All right. So who's going to be in the NBA final? You got Detroit, Boston, New York, Cleveland in the East. Detroit, Boston, New York, Cleveland in the East. David, of those four teams, who's going to be in the NBA finals?
It's an easy one for me. Boston. It's Boston.
Because?
Because they have been there before. They've got the best unit. Jaylen Brown. They can shoot. They're the best 3-point shooting team in the league. I think they've got a great coach. He's kind of quirky, but he's a great coach. I see Boston.
Tatum's back, right? Charles, Detroit, Boston, New York, Cleveland. Who comes out the East?
I think that Boston, with Tatum coming back when he's coming back, I think it's going to hurt them at a key point because they're going to rely on him and he's not going to quite be ready, quite be where he needs to be, and they'll fall short. And this is probably crazy. And, it might hurt my street cred here for people watching, but the Cleveland Cavaliers have looked good since that James Harden trade. And I know
Ooh.
James Harden in the playoffs has a bad reputation, but I mean, they have looked good. And I think him and Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen and their supporting cast, I mean, Mobley,
like Cleveland coming out the East.
I'm going with Cleveland.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
Cleveland doesn't have the Pacers to knock them off this year. So
Exactly.
Well, I like the Knicks, so we'll see what happens. I like the Knicks coming out of the East, so we'll see. All right, coming out of the West, we got OKC, San Antonio, the Lakers, Denver, and Minnesota. Who you guys like coming out of the West? Charles?
Nobody's going to beat the Thunder. Not in 7 games.
Interesting. David?
San Antonio.
And Charles, you know San Antonio's beat them 4 times this year. So
I know.
Okay.
I know.
San Antonio, if Wemby stays healthy, doesn't
Yes.
tweak anything,
Yes.
San Antonio will come out of the West.
That would be
And
interesting.
let me just say this about Minnesota. I don't know why you included them. They're a disappointing team every year. They don't deserve to be number 5 team in the West.
Their record right now, they're tied with Denver. Their record, they're both 44-28. So that's
but they'll lose when it counts.
right. Yeah, I think it's going to be San Antonio versus New York in the finals, and we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Versus New York?
I think it's be San Antonio versus New York in the finals. I think New York is tested, and they got a lot of good athletes, good star players. They've been in the big games before. They don't have the Pacers in front of them this year. And I think Cade is hurt right now. And I think Cade has given New York a hard time. Detroit has given them a hard time this year. But if Cade is out, so anyway, we'll see what happens. I could change my whole view on this in a week or 2 weeks from now when the playoffs start. But that's who I like, those 2 teams. Big game tonight. Who wins this game tonight? Oklahoma City plays the Boston Celtics tonight.
Boston.
In Boston.
Boston.
That could be a prelude to the finals. You like Boston tonight, David?
Yes, I do.
Good.
So I think my audio's going out here for a second.
Yeah, you're back. We can see you and hear you. Charles, Oklahoma City plays Boston, and now you're gone. Oklahoma City plays Boston. I like OKC tonight. Again, with OKC, the only thing I don't know, and this is the problem all year, how healthy are they? Is Jay Will playing? I don't know where they stand in terms of their who's playing and who isn't playing.
They're going to be all right eventually.
I think so too. They got a lot.
But this year, it just may not be their year. And that's no shame to the game.
Well, they got the best record in basketball, David. They're 57-15. Nobody's even close. They got the best record. So that doesn't mean they're gonna win it. That just means they got the best record. Charles, I was asking David tonight, Boston plays OKC. Who wins that game in Boston tonight?
In Boston, I think I like the Celtics in Boston.
Yeah. I know why you said that. All right. Well, that concludes hoop night. We talked about college. We talked about the men and the ladies. We talked about the NBA. What a week we've had in basketball, and it's going to be interesting going forward. So, with that said, as we wrap this up, any closing comments? And if so, I'll start with you, Mr. Burnett.
I do have a closing comment. Shout out to Ronald Norrad, who's named the head coach of Butler University. And Ronald Norrad, if you don't remember who he is, he's the scrappy guard that led the Butler Bulldogs to 2 straight national championship games. He's been a coach at the high school, college, and professional level as an assistant. Hopefully, he will restore the Butler way. If there's a team that I really like, even above Purdue, above Indiana, above Ball State. It was Butler. Butler's the first college campus I ever stepped foot on. My mother got her master's degree there. And finally, Butler did something that nobody expected. And I hope Ronald Norrad, he should be about 35, 36 now, but he's just a leader. He's just a leader. He spent 2 years on the Pacers staff. Rick Carlisle really praised him tonight on a clip I saw. I'm shouting out Ronald Norrad,
For the Butler
new
job.
head coach of the Butler Bulldogs.
By the way, Brad Stevens' name came up for the North Carolina job too.
His name comes up
All
for
the time.
for everything.
Right. And who was the player for Butler who almost made that 3-point shot?
Gordon Hayward.
Gordon Hayward. He almost made that shot that would have knocked off. Too.
Gordon Hayward. Yes,
So
indeed.
shout out to him. Charles, any closing comments from your perspective?
Closing comment, cut me open right now, orange and blue. I'm a very proud Who through and through, but I will say college basketball is better when UNC is good. So I hope they get this next hire right.
Yeah. And shout out to the UVA ladies. They're in the Sweet 16.
Shout out to the UVA ladies, Sweet 16, baby.
16. All right, I have a quick one. Mine is real quick. Tonight, it's hard to believe, it's opening night in the Major League Baseball. I know it's crazy to say, but tonight the Major League Baseball season opens. The Yankees play the Giants in San Francisco. So shout out to Major League Baseball. Looking forward to an exciting new season. The Dodgers won it last year. It was a great World Series. I just wanted to make mention of that before we sign off. On that note, Charles, thank you for joining the fellas. We appreciate that. Good luck. When do you head back to Las Vegas?
April 6th.
Okay.
That's my birthday.
Oh,
Happy early birthday.
there you go. And Charles is this Friday. So happy birthday, early birthdays to both of you. So good luck on there. David, have a great weekend. Everyone else, thanks for joining us. Van and Kung Fu and so forth. Miss Lassiter. Good show. Thanks, fellas. We'll see you next week.